Hey everybody, Kyle here, and welcome to my channel. Some of you might recognize me from another YouTube channel, and I want you to know that going forward, all my content will be posted here on this channel. So sub up everybody so that you can be notified when I come out with future videos. Today, I'm going to check in on the price action of Theta, as Theta has been consolidating in a very large daily range since hitting its all-time high not too long ago. I'm also going to check in on the Theta Bitcoin pairing because it's always important to note how are the altcoins doing against their Satoshi pairings. Is alt season about to begin? I'm going to pull up these charts and show you what I'm looking at. Alright, Theta here up on the daily. I'm going to start today's analysis by toggling into the price action here. And Theta is overall looking good. I mean, we have this really massive daily range here between these two liquid zones. The top side of this bottom liquid zone coming in at around $1.73, and then the bottom side of this liquid zone coming in around $2.40. So a very massive range indeed when you're looking at this from a percentage perspective, and definitely not for the squeamish, but definitely also a trader's paradise to be able to be trading this zone here. Now, for those of you that were following my videos on the last channel, you know I've had these liquid zones plotted in for quite some time. I was beginning to cover Theta all the way throughout here, and for me, this daily candle body closure on the good volume down below here was the first major sign that there was going to be a meteoric rip from a price action perspective. You see that it had a nice classic SR flip back there where former resistance became future support, and it did a classic backtest which actually provided traders with a second entry. And how nice of Theta to do that, because typically when something breaks out, it doesn't really give you a second chance. I mean, if it's just going to keep flailing around in those areas, it's not really a breakout now, is it? And usually when markets decide to rip, they rip, and you can see that Theta is no exception to that. Theta's also been a really good looking chart for quite some time. I mean, you just look at the structure of this, obviously very parabolic at this point in time, but you know, when things move up very aggressively like this and the higher they go, the crazier that these price discovery ranges become, and that's why we get these really savage ranges here. And for anybody that's new to trading or new to investing in crypto and altcoins, this is probably a bit of a wild ride for you out there, but overall, you just have to zoom out sometimes, take a look at things, and get a beat as to what is actually going on. I mean, some people might look at this right now and say, ooh, giant bull flags forming, and I mean, if that's the case, the measured move off this is going to be ridiculous, probably above $5. I'm not even going to bother drawing that in right now, as that is just a little bit too much on the speculative side for me, as I like to take things level by level and get as much of a balanced read as to what's going on versus just making moon boy shots, predictions like that. Although we are in a very much bullish conditions, the market's very bullish at this time. So being a bull in a bull market makes sense. Anyhow, looking at the price action here, I see lots of really strong, healthy things going on. I mean, recently when Theta hit its all-time high, it established a very nice liquid zone to be paying attention to, and Theta gave another one back here, and you can see that when the daily candle body closure came in above this liquid zone on good volume, that's when the follow-through came, and it just ripped this all-time high here, and it was the same back down here. So Theta's behaving and respecting technical analysis quite well. Not a crystal ball, just a statistical probability as to what's going on, and there's always possibilities looming for every probability. At the time of recording, I see for the last several days of price action on dailies, the daily candle bodies have been pretty much closing above the 10. And as you can see, when a strong trend is in progress, price action does like to rally off the 10 simple moving average. I've pointed this out before, but even on Bitcoin, you can see that when it got into its bull mode, you see the moving averages, they coil in here, and then it just begins to rally off that 10, off the 10. I mean, the 10 picking up all the wicks, all the candle body closures, except for this shakeout here, which was, their hidden bullish divergence ended up showing up on this, and then that just continued the massive upside for Bitcoin. So you can see that is very much a healthy sign for a strong trend in progress. Not just a trend, but a strong one in progress. And at the end of the day, what I really like to look for is the daily candle body closures and opens at the very least above the 21. And you can see for this last several weeks, there's been no candle body closures below that 21. And right now, you can see that the 10, 21, and 30 are starting to coil in on each other as Theta trades pretty much dead center of this overall massive consolidation range here. For the next major leg up, I'm kind of looking for this kind of behavior of the moving averages. You can see that they coil in really tight upon one another, and then they begin to fan away, take out a notable area on strong volume, and then they just pow, they start to fan away, off it goes. So, for the next major leg up, that's kind of what I'm looking for. It doesn't have to be that way. At the end of the day, my conditions for Theta to push to all-time highs would be daily candle body closures above the top side of this liquid zone, which comes in at around $2.51. Getting any daily candle body closures above that on strong volume and followed by daily candle body opens then I think that would be the first major sign that follow through is imminent. Perhaps it does a back test of the liquid zone before ripping to the upside. But normally when you get those daily candle body closures, at least for my trading strategy, that's usually my actionable signal. I mean, a daily chart is quite powerful, and a lot of people in crypto land are looking at much smaller time frames, which is great. Those are super effective as well, and a lot of the same strategies can apply. But usually when you see these things happen on a daily chart, it has more significance as to how long it's going to take for that move to play out. Now that Theta is essentially consolidating in this wild and crazy range, this could likely go on for quite some time. And for those of you that were following my videos from before, you know that I was looking for some corrective behavior as this bearish divergence started to show up on the RSI and essentially did confirm itself, but also likely played itself out as this massive bullish wick came down, hit the 30 simple moving average, and just immediately shot it back, the candle body closure above the 21 and also above that liquid zone, which is really extremely bullish. And I mean, you know, these moving averages, I like to use these as typically bots and algorithms will be programmed to them, as well as they do like to come into confluence with key Fibonacci levels. And it's very quick to find out if bots and algorithms are on the buy side of that, if dynamic traders and informed traders are on the buy side of that. Usually really, really good tells. But, you know, right now things are looking really good. Just an equilibrium pattern going on here. Maybe it is a bull flag, and maybe this bull flag will resolve bullish, at least to the upside. And if it does that, you guys buckle up, baby, because then Theta is going to be making a massive rip to the upside. Toggling down to the RSI is under a little bit of pressure here. I see that it's been kicked out of the bullish control zone after the bearish divergence. The exponential moving average is also coming out of the bullish control zone with a fairly negative slope to the downside. It looks to me like the RSI would like to come up and at least test that, test the exponential moving average, and hopefully get a confirmation close up above that. But I don't see anything in here that's causing any major concern or panic. I see a potential trend line also forming here. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, just draw that a little bit better here. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, 3 touches does make a trend, and it looks like this trend line wants to hold up for the time being. So, you know, I'd start getting a little bit more concerned about the RSI, perhaps if it gets any confirmation closes below this trend line, and maybe if the exponential moving average also follows through with closures like that, then maybe that would be a little bit more concern. But right now, not seeing anything here that freaks me out. Perhaps this is just a giant bullish reset as Theta moves sideways. Maybe that's not even the best term for that, but you know, at the end of the day, it just looks to me that the RSI is repositioning itself, as well as the moving averages begin to converge upon one another. And as you can see, they're fairly fanned away from each other. So this could take some time, you guys. Like, we might have to have some patience here as Theta decides to do whatever it's going to do here. Now, if Theta starts to close any daily candle bodies below the 10, then likely test at the 21. Daily candle body closures below the 21, then likely test at the 30. If Theta gets any candle body closures below $1.66, the bottom side of this liquid zone here, then I'll be looking to this horizontal as an area of interest as the 55 is working its way back up to that. Getting daily candle body closures below that, then likely a test of this liquid zone here coming in at $1.34. And even if Theta decides to do that, I'm still not overall long-term worried about Theta whatsoever. I wouldn't be putting on my bear suit anytime soon. Obviously, I'd like to see Theta stay where it's consolidating now and work its way up higher. But, you know, another thing I can say too is I like to see things consolidate. You can see a massive consolidation here between these two liquid zones. And at the end of the day, really what this did is it just built up pressure for a massive moonshot to the upside. So I like to see this kind of behavior. I don't like it when altcoins or projects take on the characteristics of a pump and dump. It's just, it's not stigma that we want attached to Theta as a project. Theta has a working platform, a lot of really good things going for it. Theta claims to have advisors from the founders of YouTube. It claims to be partnered with Samsung and on all these very cool things. Google Cloud is using it now. Whether or not those claims are true, I'm not really going to worry about that, as I just simply see a really good-looking chart here. I mean, this looks really, really good. So if Theta can continue to do this, consolidate sideways, it's going to thwart any stigma of being a pump and dump. And that's a good thing, you guys. That's what we would like to see here. And it also builds up pressure for the next major leg to the upside. Down here at the MACD continues to fall, but still in the bullish control zone. The histogram here looks to be losing some momentum, but this is an unconfirmed signal as the trading day still has 7 hours and 32 minutes remaining. Stochastic's actually looking good. They're crossed to the upside. Hopefully we get the confirmed cross at the daily candle body closure. And it looks like they're looking to regain the bullish control zone, which is a really nice point on the board for the bulls. So if anything, it looks to me that Theta could put in a little bit of upside coming into, as it trades for the rest of the week. And actually, I'm going to plot a horizontal here as well, because if it seems to me that if Theta is able to close, that's kind of a sloppy one. I'll just tighten that up a little bit here. Yeah, just an area of interest, you guys. But if Theta is able to get a daily candle body closure above $2.21, then likely it's going to initiate a test of the bottom side of this liquid zone coming in at $2.39. So everything looking good here, you guys. A little bit of patience required, and let's see what this beauty does in the bullish conditions that crypto is experiencing right now, and already having a beautiful chart. I think this thing's gonna. It's likely to rally. That's what I'm seeing here. It's just probable that that's what's going to be happening here. Anyway, let's take a look at the Theta Bitcoin chart. All right, Theta versus Bitcoin on the daily. So I'll start by toggling into the price action itself here. And this chart is fucky, to say the least. Very pump and dumpy, at least against the Satoshi pairing. But I don't blame Theta for that, as Bitcoin has been having crazy rips. And being that it's the king of the cryptocurrencies, I mean, it's gonna, when it rallies, I mean, it's gonna probably cause most alts to bleed on their Satoshi pairings. But this chart isn't the easiest to read, but there are some notable things going on here. I mean, we have a purple box zone established here. If I look at the RSI, I do see that there was, I'm just going to pull up my crosshairs for a second. I know they're a little bit harder to follow, but yeah, from this high here to this high over here, there was some daily bearish divergence present. But it's also fair to say that a lot of that has already played itself out, as Theta came rallying way down here, testing the 89, getting some bullish wicks off of that, and getting back above this purple box zone here as well. Back into the price action, I see that the moving averages are putting in work. It looks to me like the lower periods would like to get back above the higher periods, and for the most part they are. I see that the 10, 21, and 30 are pretty much really tightly converged upon one another, and the daily candle body closures are happening above the 21. So that's a good sign. But I mean, being that this is a Satoshi pairing, the behavior is going to be a lot different than the dollar pairings from what I'm used to reading. But if Theta can get any daily candle body closures above this horizontal here, coming in at around 6306. Man, these numbers are big. Then probably initiate a test to the bottom side of this liquid zone here. But I do believe that Bitcoin's going to have to continue sideways here in order for that to be, have any relevance whatsoever. I mean, when Bitcoin decides to do whatever it's going to do, then I think it'll greatly impact this chart for sure. RSI down below here, under pressure. It's in the neutral zones, angled down towards the bearish control zone, getting rejected off the exponential moving average, and it looks like the slope of the exponential moving average is increasing to the downside. I don't think this is a major problem for Theta's dollar pairings, but it has some work to put in if it's going to get bullish against its Bitcoin pairings. Now, this does look like a fairly legitimate bottom over here, and now it has formed a confirmed higher low, and even technically a higher high than this one back here. Just a pretty wild and crazy range, really. Stochastics down below here, coming out of the bearish exhaustion zone and looking to try to get out of the bearish control zone. Nicely angled to the upside, lots of room to run if the Theta Satoshi bulls decide to step in here. MACD down below, big fat nothing burger for the most part, but I do see that the moving averages are angled to the downside and are looking to approach the zero read of the y-axis, as well as this. The histogram is really just a big island of negative momentum at this point in time, but is signaling that it's been losing momentum as these lighter colored bars are coming in. So you're gonna have to just pay attention to this and see what happens. If Bitcoin stays sideways right now, I do think that a lot of the notable alts are going to begin to rally against Bitcoin, as well as their dollar pairings. But of course, we need to see what happens there. But all in all, I mean, the volume read down below here, volume seems, kind of just a nothing burger. You see massive spike here on this massive pump and then a dump. This over here, nothing really major going on here. Just kind of a weird chart to look at, really. But it is good to pay attention to the Satoshi pairings, because at the end of the day, if you're truly investing in something or trading something, it's important to know, is it rallying against the Satoshi pairings as well as its dollar pairings, to get a gauge as to know if your money is better invested here or just in Bitcoin itself. So it's always fun to pull up these Satoshi charts. I'm going to keep an eye on it as like I said, important thing to do. Anyways, you guys, hope you got some value out of that. Welcome to the new channel. Hope you stick around and have yourselves a powerful day.